Good morning, good afternoon. Oh, it's good morning. It's 9:30. Good morning, ladies. Welcome to the Dear Brother podcast. Um, I'm on here. Good morning, everybody. Um, Good morning, everybody. I've been thinking. Ladies. I've been thinking, and I want to drop this podcast on y'all to see what your thoughts were. My mother always said, she said, you know what, son, no woman should move from her husband's house into no woman should move from her father's house into her husband's house. And she would teach me this stuff. I had a sister for her to teach that stuff too. But I never forgot she said that. That meant a lot to me. That you should never, my mother said, you should never move into from your father's house to your husband's house. And she said because a woman needs a level of independence, right? There's a space where she gets to know herself and know what she loves, know what she enjoys, right? There's a space where that counts to her and that matters, and she should have that, right? And I think that it got me to thinking today, based on what my mother said years ago. It got me thinking today, and something really heavy hit my mind. I wonder what Eve's life was like before she met Adam. I really ponder that notion. What was Eve's life like before she met Adam? Because, like most scriptures, y'all got to remember, most scriptures were taught or written from a perspective of manhood, right? Where Adam was the shining light in that scripture. Adam was, right? Just like when you deal with Abraham being the father of faith, they don't ever talk about Eve. I mean, Sarah rather. We never talk about Sarah. This is the thing. If Abraham was a father of faith, that means he needed a portal by which this dream would come true, right? But in the scriptures, I think we talk so much about Abraham. And again, it's not sexist. You got to remember, during that time of history, the woman wasn't the primary thing. But it doesn't mean she can't be the primary thing now, or she can't have the primary thought now. And I think if we give more credence to these women's characters in the scriptures, and we give more credence to who they were, then we would get a greater understanding of a woman, her value before connecting with a man. And I think that as long as we don't teach that, I think as adult women, you need to know from a man. I'm telling you, from a man's perspective, you need to know you before you know a man. You got to have a control of who you are, control or self-awareness of who you are. I think that the narrative that a woman was just made for man, I think that narrative leaves no space where a woman becomes herself and doesn't develop what we call an individuality before she connects with a man, right? And so I think when you really look at it, let's talk a little bit. And if you want to, you could jump in the chat and talk. But I really wanted to consider, what was Eve's life before Adam? Again, we talk about Adam, but what about her? Right? Number one, it says that God put Adam to sleep to get her, to take a rib from him. Now, I think even bigger than that, one of the greatest things that I saw in that scripture was that God told Adam it was no good for him to be alone. And this always blew my mind because God was everywhere. God is everywhere. He creates all things. And he told this man while he was standing there with him. Now, I want you to think about that. Imagine me standing there with you, looking you in your face, holding your hand, saying, it's not good for you to be alone. I'm right there. So I want you to see the value in that very statement. See the value in that very statement that God made. Looking at Adam in his eyes, it's no good for you to be alone. That meant that God even knew that there was something that Adam would need that not even God himself could fulfill. This man, Adam, had a need that God himself couldn't fulfill. That's how important a woman is. He made you to fulfill a need in a person's life that he couldn't even fulfill. Number one, right? And so that takes us to this place where he put Adam to sleep, right? In order for a man to really be able to notice you, let me jump in here. In order for a man, you single ladies out there, in order for a man to really notice your greatness, his pride must be put to sleep, right? Adam was always around animals. He was always around animals. He was always around people or beings that he could not relate to. And in order for him, he had to be able to focus. And in order for a man to focus, he has to put his ego down. Let me just throw this in, ladies. You'll never be safe with a man that doesn't know how to put his ego down. Listen to brother this morning, right? The reason I started this podcast for you ladies is because you don't have enough men in your life willing to give you wisdom, wanting nothing in exchange. So let me cook with you for a minute. I think that there comes a space where a man with pride can't value you, right? Because a man with pride and ego, you got to watch that. The first thing you should measure in a man is not what he has in his pocket, not what car he drives, or whether he can take care of you in all these frivolous ways. The first thing you should be looking for in a man is how much ego he carries. Let me see somebody jumped in the chat. Let me see. Huh? God bless you, sister. Thank you for hanging out with me today. You said, wow, right? A man who can't check his ego will never take care of you well because it will always be about him. God put Adam to sleep. Don't be with a man. Don't commit with a man that is never going to sleep. Oh, ladies, I hope y'all grab something from this today. Don't be with a man that has never been put to sleep. That means he has too much ego, he has too much pride, and he will never partner with you. He will look for you to just support his thing. But that's not what I want to hear to teach today, but I wanted to throw that in, right? This is the thing. When God took that rib from Adam, from sleeping Adam, God himself handled that rib and he took her and he made her. This is what we don't talk about. Let's focus here for a minute. He took that woman and God formed her with his own hand. God formed her with his own hand. That means that her value, she wasn't just taken and said, here, Adam, here's a woman for you. No, he took time. God himself invested in that woman. He invested wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. I would venture to say, and I know I will get attacked by men on here for saying it, but I believe that God put no less in Eve than he put in Adam. There was nothing less in Eve's life than he put in Adam. They were equal. Let me see who's in there. Yeah, they were equal, ladies. They were equal. Good morning, Jacqueline Wade. Good morning. I'm trying, sister. I'm trying to cook. I'm trying to help my sisters. Eve was equal with Adam. God spoke to her. Let's just imagine. Again, the scripture doesn't talk about it, but let's just imagine for a minute, ladies, that the relationship between God and Eve. Let's imagine that relationship. Let's imagine Eve before Adam, before she met him. She had to see herself. Before she met Adam, she had to look at herself. She had to know herself. What conversations did she have with? Come on, ladies. Let's go on a tour in our minds. Let's let our minds be free. What kind of conversation have Eve might have had with God before she met Adam? Right? I'm going somewhere with this. What kind of conversations? What did she talk to God about before she met Adam? What was her relationship with him before Adam? What did she allow God to tell her about herself so she wouldn't get lost in her purpose? Oh, come on. She wouldn't get lost in her purpose. She wouldn't get lost or she wouldn't lose her purpose inside of her duty. And I think that happens to a lot of you sisters. You lose your purpose in all of your duties. You lose your purpose in all of your duties for your husband, your duty for your man, your duties for your children. In all your duties, you've lost your purpose. That's why I understand why my mother would say, now that a woman does not need to go from her father's house to her husband's house because there's no room where she can have identity for self. She'll just become what that person needs. Listen, ladies, if you don't have a moment, a space between Adam, I'm cooking today. If you don't have a space between Adam, if you don't have that space, you will always just be a rag doll for somebody else's needs. You will always just be cleaning up behind a man if you don't take serious that space before you meet him. Eve had a relationship with God before she met him. Now, when I talk about God, we're not just talking about spiritual, right? You ladies need some type of man in your life, and I'm not talking about a man who needs you sexually. I can't say that on YouTube. Actually, right? You need a man who will exchange with you or will give you something with taking nothing in return. And what that means is he's willing to invest in you to prepare you for your future. God talked to that woman. Now, again, I know some preacher may attack me, but y'all go ahead. Eve was not just some nobody who she was just a rib. Oh, no, that's that. You know how we say, oh, men say, oh, that's my rib. No, 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 sis. You're more than a rib. The rib was only the beginning. The rib God took from Adam. By the time God got back to Adam, he had a whole woman. You're not just a rib, sis. You're a whole woman formed from that rib. Now, what happened in there? I believe that this was the first wedding. This is what I believe. And I think there was, because listen, there was an aisle, there was a father, and there was a man. Think about it. There was an aisle. Imagine Adam at the end of that aisle, ladies, waiting on God to present her. Think about this, ladies. God made Eve, talked to her, shaped her. She was a woman of wisdom. Think about it. God had his hands on her. Come on. I see y'all look at yourself too low and light. No, no, no. God had his hands on Eve in order to take her from Adam, right? And then form her perfectly. That took time. This wasn't just a overnight, a nothing development. Why you think Adam had to go to sleep? Because this perfection was going to take time. Ladies, you gotta take your time with yourself. You got to take time with yourself. Why? Because it's the only way to understand where you are, how you feel, what's really going on inside of you. Because listen, if you don't become your own hero, ladies, you'll be looking for a hero, and you know how far that can go. You'll be connected to someone who doesn't care about you, waiting on him to save you. Baby, he don't even know you enough to save you. That's why you have to have a relationship with God. You got to have a relationship with some type of man that will form you without desiring you. That's how a father is to a daughter. I got 3 daughters, 18-year-old twins. One of my greatest jobs in their life is to mold them and shape them and let them see what love looks like without exchange. Show them their value so they can know that there is a them before meeting a man. Your life doesn't begin with meeting a man, right? I wonder if I could just imagine what God would say to her. I wonder what kind of questions she asked God. Come on, go with me on this imagination. Huh? I wonder what questions she asked God. I wonder what questions what am I doing here? What's my purpose? What's my reasoning? She didn't know she was being made for a man. Ooh, she did not know she was being made for a man. So that means that something else had to be on her mind about her before she met Adam. What question? God, who am I? What am I worth? What is this? What is this garden you got me in? See, these are the questions that shaped her reality of who she was before she just fell on the lap of Adam. No, she was necessary in the garden, and she wasn't necessary in the garden just for Adam's pleasure. God never called woman for Adam's pleasure. He called woman Adam's helpmeet. Helpmeet, right? Help meet what? The needs of this garden. This garden, ladies, that Adam was in could not be fulfilled without her. It was a reason why God said it's not good for you to be alone. And it wasn't just for him to be rubbing and touching on her. No, he was saying this garden has gotten too expansive, right? This garden has grown so much that I need another mind that can help you understand all that you have, Adam. It's not good for you to be alone. Even though I'm with you, she can do something for you that I can't. And that's not an intimate relationship. That's intimacy of mind. Listen, that's why every woman has 2 wombs in her body. You have a womb in your lower body. You have a womb right here. A woman can birth anything that's given to her, even if it's a simple word. That word that Adam would speak to her, she would be able to dream it bigger, give color to it. That's your job, ladies. not to just hang around, not to just look beautiful. What was Eve before she met Adam? And my question to you is, what were you before you met your first boyfriend, before your first intimate relationship with somebody, before you lost your virginity? Who were you before you got married, before you became a mother? Who were you before all these duties came? Who were you when you were attached to nothing but purpose? Who were you? That's where you got to go back to, sis. That's where you have to return to. You got to return to a place where you're in touch with you, purely you, without somebody being attached to you. Eve had a relationship with God, a conversation with God. I wonder what he told her, right? I wonder what he told her. I wonder, did he affirm her? I wonder, did he affirm her of her power, affirm her of her ability, affirm her of her passion? I wonder what God said to Eve before she met Adam, right? The first words Eve heard was not Adam's voice. The first words that Eve heard were her father's voice. Why, Christian? Why? Because her relationship with her father's voice was able to help her recognize the voice of her husband. The only safe way that a woman can understand or perceive the voice of a good man is have a voice of a father. The question is, how does a woman know who to say I do to? 1,000 men can ask you to marry him. 1,000 men can say you're beautiful and you're my lady. How do you know which one to say I do to? Well, you got to have a relationship with a man that affirms you, that loves you, that speaks into you, that adorns you and adores you, so that when he hands you over to another man, you can check whether the voice is the same, the security is the same, the passion is the same, the care is the same, the affirmation is the same. The only way you can be sure about the man you're going to go into a relationship with is to have a God, a father, an uncle, a big brother, somebody that fed you wisdom so that you can match. Is this touch? Is this love? Is this the same? Or does this man just want something from me? Oh, ladies. Come on. Who was Eve before Adam? I'm going to end this podcast, but who were you before Chuck? Who were you before Jason? Who were you before Mikey? Who were you before Chad? Who were you before Harry? Who were you before Rob? Who were you, sis? You have to have a knowledge and awareness of yourself, even though the Bible doesn't specify. And again, I told you at the beginning of the podcast, the writers of the Bible, it was no value on women then. So the focus was always on the man. The focus was always on Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But there were ladies in their life. And I want to go back to the beginning and show you that Eve had a relationship before she met Adam. She had a conversation with her father. She knew what real love felt like before she met Adam. She knew what a man's voice sounded like before she met Adam. She met all of these things before she met Adam. It was her only way to identify him. And then Adam in turn said, oh my God, a bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. Why? How did she know she was? Because she knew herself. If you don't know who you are, you'll fall for the words of any man saying you must be mine. No, sir, I'm not yours. Not because I may be unattracted to you, because your voice, your touch, your response, your affirmation don't feel like what I had between the time of meeting you. All right, ladies, I got to go. I'm a part to this because we got to go into why Eve had a conversation with the serpent. We got to find out what happened in Eve where she was willing to have that conversation. We got to have the conversation about what did Eve believe she lacked that made her converse with a serpent. Should we do it now? Y'all jump in the chat. Let me know. Should we do it now? I'll do it right now. Right? But what was it? Let's go into it. We might as well go ahead since y'all on here. I wonder what it was that made Eve. I wonder what it was that made Eve have that conversation with the serpent. Did he convince her that she wasn't enough? Whoo, let's go. I'm gonna go into it right now. I might as well go ahead. Uh, Did did the serpent? Now remember, this same lady. I'm gonna cook today. This same lady who knew what God felt like, this same lady who was formed by God's hands, this same lady, what happened to make her believe that she was missing something? The only reason she took that fruit was because she must have, in some area in her life, felt like she was not enough. I want, ladies, let's talk for a minute. I wonder, you can look back over your life and find the spaces where you left room for a serpent in your life, and the only reason you invited him was because you felt like you were lacking something. The only reason you invited him is because you felt like you were missing something. And eventually you lost 10 or 15 years of your life because in a moment you felt like you were missing something. And in that moment, there was a serpent with an offering for you. In that very moment, right? What were you missing? It's like, that's why they tell people don't go shopping when you're hungry, right? You'll buy all kinds of stuff. You'll buy all kinds of stuff. You'll buy stuff that you never even thought about buying. Why? Because your need drove you to grab something that you might not have even otherwise be interested in. What did your hunger make you do? What did your hunger make you do, sis? Right? Because it takes a long, this is where I feel for you, sisters, because it takes a long time to bounce back after you feel like you've thrown it all away. I'm getting to it, sisters. Hold on just a second. Yeah, because what happens to us? What happened to you? Think about it. What happened to you? What made you think, hello, my friend? Let me see. Hello, I'm Pastor Uma Bonif from Uganda. Hello, Pastor. Thank you for hanging out with us today, all the way from Uganda. Thank you so much. Let me see. Know your position and your purpose. Absolutely, Jacqueline White. You got to know your position. You got to know your value. You got to know your purpose. Why? Because there is a gap. Pay attention to that gap. Well, ladies, what are you doing in the gap? What are you doing in the gap? Are you letting God really shape you for who you are, or are you looking to be shaped for what you think a man wants? Let's get into this today. Think about it, ladies. Think about it, my sisters. Are you wanting to be shaped into the best you, or are you wanting to be shaped into the best you for somebody else? The best you has to just be because you want it for you, right? You got to want that for you. What is life like without Adam? Come on. What do you dream about without Adam being anywhere around? Because again, Eve or Adam was prepared. God put him to sleep. God put his ego to sleep. He was ready to receive her when she came. So she didn't have to make herself into anything. Why? Because she was accepted by her father. Thus, she was accepted by his son. So, come on. When you look in the mirror, it has to be about how you feel about you, not how he feels. Because you get with the wrong man, his feelings going to change up and down, and now you changing up and down. Now your hair long, now your hair short, now you skinny, now you thick, now you this, now you that, now you wearing high heels, now you wearing flat. You all over the place. Why? Because you're shifting for the need of a person. And you know what happens to you, ladies, after a while? What happens is emotional and mental brokenness. Because you can change so much to try to please so many people that eventually you lose yourself. And you don't know who you are anymore. It's the danger. Let me see. Accept things I know I shouldn't because of lack of love. Right, but lack of love from who? See, the love, sis, has to come from, there you go. You already answered it. I have to learn to love myself before anyone else can. Yes, you have to. You have to. Because that's where you sisters are hurting. Oh, I got y'all on the wrong. Goodness gracious. Let me see. There it is. Got y'all on the wrong. Huh? Yeah. Right? Now understand this. Again, we're talking about Eve before Adam. Nobody teaches about this. She had to converse with God. He had to tell her things about herself, right? Because this is the thing. How do I know he's him? Well, the grip doesn't change. When you let God hold you, when you have a father, even a natural father, a natural brother, an uncle, a man who loves you and doesn't want nothing from you, you learn what it is to feel a safety. And so when a man says, I want to be with you, then you check for safety, not money. You check for safety. You check for safety. You check for safety, sister. That's what you're looking for. You're checking for safety. That's what you need in your life the most. Because a man can have money. Money spends. If a man is safe, money is a byproduct of safety. Money comes where safety is. But you need a man that's safe, not just a man. Let me see. Let me see who's in the chat. Marquita, I'm trying. I'm trying. Right? Safety. So, okay, so let's deal with that self-doubt. Where does self-doubt in a woman come from? This is where self-doubt in a woman comes from. You ladies, you sisters, you know what happens? You make mistakes and then you stop trusting yourself. Listen, you are not the mistake you made. You're not. You're not. That's the reason why a lot of you can't go forward, because you think that you're the mistake you made. You're not. You've tied your character to the last thing you did. No, sis. No, sis. You're worth more than that. You can't tie yourself. That's where you were. Now, should you look at that mistake and you should see how you got there? Absolutely. But you can't make future decisions, right? Based on a negative space you were. That was a time in your life. If you've changed, the first thing you got to do is be willing to forgive yourself. You don't trust you anymore. That's why after you've made a few bad decisions, or you wind up with a man who you thought you were going to love and he ended up just a baby's dad or whatever it is, you stop trusting yourself. And a lot of your worst decisions came because you didn't trust yourself anymore. You know what you got to do when you don't trust yourself? You got to take yourself back. Again, because I want to say this again. A lot of you ladies get caught in the duty of who you should be instead of the beauty of who you are. Or the duty instead of the beauty. The beauty is who you are. The duty is what you do for everybody else. I was on the Dear Brother podcast this morning. You know what I told the brothers? You know how you'll find out all the leeches in your life? Start saying no. Start saying no to people. Start saying no. It's two things you can do to discover who's around you, ladies. Say no and build a boundary. You build a boundary and you say no, you will find out exactly the character of the people in your life really fast. Because you can do for somebody every day. Say no, they'll show you how they really feel about you. The power of no, and I'm going to lay this on you. I'll take this for the notes for the rest of your life. You know how you take your life back, sisters? One no at a time. You ever want to recover your life? One no at a time. Why? Because you're too stretched out. You're too stretched thin. And because of your nurturing nature, you try to care for everything around you. There's some things that don't require your care. It requires somebody else's. Oh, come on, sis. You're not responsible for every burden you see. You're not responsible for every burden you see out here. You're not responsible to fix every broken man that got a story of his brokenness. Oh, baby, I'm sad and I've been through. That don't make him your responsibility. You know how you know what you should connect to? Go back to what? How did God feel? What was God saying to me, right? What did God affirm in me? What does he say? What do I feel about me? That's how you make your decisions. If you don't concern yourself with you, you always decide against yourself. You always decide against yourself. All right, let me see. I wasn't supposed to be on here this long. I was just going, but look, all right, I'm going to use this last 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes for Dear Sister D advice. If any of you need some advice on anything, relationship, just some self-love stuff, just from a brother. This is the thing. Not a lot of women have men to just sow into their life wanting nothing. right? That's why I started this podcast, because you're worth it. You're worth a voice that will give you wisdom, put you on. A lot of you women just don't know. There's a lot of stuff you just don't know. And in this life, you're forced to act perfect. You're forced to act like you got it together. It's a harmful thing that you have to act like you got it together when things have really fallen apart. So jump in the chat if you want some advice. Dear Sister D, advice is our time. And I will answer any questions that help you out, sister. Give you some advice on what you're going through. Marriage advice. Look, I'll need some advice on how men think. You know, what's going on in man's mind. That's what I'm here for, to help you out on the Dear Sister podcast. Welcome to you all. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Let me see. Again, if you need some advice, throw it in the chat, and I will get right chat too. Let me see. Yes, it will drain the hell out of you. Yes, it will drain the hell out of you. Yes. 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 And that's why you sisters need to be safe. And for some of you that just coming in, what I'm focused on today, I'm focused fully on what Eve was like with God before she met Adam. Because I'm inviting some of you back. I'm inviting you to go backwards in your life. Before you took on the duty of being a wife and a mother, before you took on the duty of being with a bum, before you lost years with somebody who was no good, who were you? What were your dreams? What was in your journal before things fell apart? Let me see. Sister, hey, Tashana, hey, sister. Welcome to the Dear Sister podcast, Sean. I'm on here trying to help the sisters. I'm on at 6 a.m. with the brothers on the Dear Brother podcast. And then I'm trying to do a 9 or 10 o'clock show for the ladies every day. Welcome, my sister. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Let me see. How do I reclaim my purpose in life? Okay. How do I reclaim my purpose in life? How do you reclaim it? Did you give it away? Did you give it away? This is the thing. You only got to reclaim something you lost. Did you lose it? So I think that you correct me if I'm wrong, Chantel, but I think the bigger question is, how do I get free to do the purpose in my life? 10 years. And was it the relationship that caused this problem? Was it the relationship, Chantel, that caused this problem? Again, dear sisters, we're in the Dear Sister D advice, so you can throw something in the chat. But how do I reclaim my purpose? The question is, did you lose it? Did you lose it, or is it just underneath things? That's the thing. You got to remember this, sisters. What you were born with. Okay, you feel like, okay, so let me tell you, you didn't. Let me show you. I got some, this is crazy. Okay. So, all right, you see, ladies, you see this here? All right. So if I put, this is your purpose, bad relationship, right? So we're going to start here. This was your purpose. This was you and God, right? Bad relationship. Bad marriage. Baby by somebody who didn't stay. Disappointment in family. Right? Miscarriage. Right? And we can stack this all the way up. See, the purpose never goes anywhere. It just gets covered by all the instances in your life. And it's what happens is, see how you can see this until it gets covered. And then after a while, you can't even see what's under there. All you start seeing is all your problems, and you stop seeing who you are. Your purpose wasn't lost, sister. You have to start peeling back. Let me show you. You have to start peeling back. You got to start peeling back the layers. How do I peel back the layers? You got to start dealing with the pain you ignored. You didn't want to deal with that, so it's stuck on top of your purpose. You didn't want to deal with that, so it's stuck on top of your purpose. You didn't want to deal with that, so it's stuck on top of your purpose, right? You got to get back to you. You got to start peeling back the layers. And listen, ladies, you can't peel back the layers that have covered your purpose with a man. Y'all hear me? You cannot uncover your layers with a man. That's your job. You got to do that for yourself. Because understand this, if you always surround yourself by people that need you, you're in duty. you're not getting to know the beauty of yourself. You're not. Let me see. Let me take a pause. Let me take a commercial pause. I don't have one right here. Oh, here it is. Ladies, Amazon.com right now. Go get it. Go get it. You need it. On Amazon right now, The Soul of Sarah. Go check it out. I wrote about this. I wrote about all this in this book. It's for ladies. And this podcast is making me think I want to write another book maybe for next year for ladies called Adam Before Eve. Go get this book. It's on Amazon.com right now. Let me tell y'all some of the chapters. Let me see. Right? We deal with the healing of a woman here. We deal with how a woman should release her mind so she can know she's able. A lot of you have forgotten you're able. You've forgotten the fact that you're able, right? By yourself, not surrounded by a bunch of help. You've forgotten that you were able. You've forgotten how fabulous you were, right? This is what this go on there. Go Amazon, right? Go get it. Go get it. Go get it. Let me see. Let me look in the chat. Who's in this chat? Let me see. That's so true. I started my process of peeling when I got divorced 8 years. Yes. Yes. You got your purpose doesn't leave, sisters. You got to start peeling back without help. Without help. Because this is the thing. Because you took a stroll. This is the thing. A lot of you ruined your life. Oh, Christian, come on. You talking too heavy now. No, let's talk. A lot of you ruined your life because you wanted to have a conversation with a serpent. And you know what the serpent did to Eve? He didn't make her do anything. He just suggested to her that she wasn't enough. Hey, if you do this, then you'll be this. That's Satan's trick against the female mind. He wants you to always think you need a man, you need a baby, you need a friend, you need a vacation, you need a drink, you need some wine, you need. And he's constantly offering you the fruit of constantly trying to show you what you need so that you won't look in yourself and see that everything you need is already in you, waiting for you to recognize it. Everything you need is already in you, is waiting for you to recognize it. Right? But that's the trick. The trick is here. Your hair is not long enough. Here, you're not skinny enough. Oh, you're not thick enough. Here. That's where the BBL game came from, where a woman is willing to cut her body open and add fat into her body. Who's she doing that for? That's the fruit. Here, you need a bigger butt. Here, your breasts need to be bigger. Here, your hair needs to be longer. Here, you need to lock your hair. Here, no, you need to cut your hair off. Here, no, here's a weave. Here's a wig. Here. Here's a dress. Here, be more sexy. No, be more shy. No, you need to be, no. And you've been so many things for so many people, sister, that you lost yourself. You don't even know what the heck you are anymore. That's why you got to escape back to the relationship that you had before Adam. Right? And this is the thing, ladies. Adam in your life doesn't have to just be a man. Adam is a duty. Your kids are a duty. Are they beautiful? Do you love them? Yes, but they're a duty. You had an identity before that. And that's what I think that not enough people teach the value of a woman from a biblical standpoint. That she wasn't thrown together. Oh, my man right here need a woman, so let me throw her. That's why some of you are in bad relationships. Because you thought that's what you were. Just a throw-in. You ain't no throw-in, baby. You were divinely crafted. Right? Adam went to sleep so you could be divinely crafted. And then God touched, molded you, shaped you, spoke to you, affirmed you, told you who you were, told you how wonderful. Eve was very clear on who she was before she met Adam. She didn't know her name, but she knew who she was. And that's why she received the name. Adam said, whoa, you're the mother of all. I'm going to call you Eve. Damn, shorty. You see what I'm saying? And she was able to receive it. She wasn't, no. She was like, yeah. Yeah, the reason I know what you're saying is right is because this is what my father was telling me while he was making me from your, excuse me. Ooh, I used to be a pastor. I still, ooh, I hope y'all catch that. Y'all hear that? This is who you are. This is who you're worth. This is what you are. This is how I crafted you. Know who you are before some man starts speaking in your life. If you don't know who you are before a man starts speaking, he will tell you what he needs. You'll become what he needs, and you'll never become what you need to be. And that's why some of you are exhausted. Your life has become the need of people, or fulfilling the needs of people. So identity and purpose is important for you to know. Before Adam, God affirmed Eve's uniqueness. He affirmed her purpose. He emphasized her role, right? He emphasized her role as a woman. When I talk about role, it wasn't no dishes to clean and eat and eating. So we ain't talking about washing dishes and washing clothes. Her role of helping Adam finish out his work, her role of birthing greatness so that the whole earth can be plentiful, and not just from her womb, but from her mind, her role. God spoke to her. Eve knew who she was before she met Adam, ladies. And you got to know who you are before you go into a career, before you go into motherhood, before you go into manhood. And I know some of you ladies might say, well, hold up, Christian, I'm already married. I'm already a mother. That's not a reason for you not to go back and remember who you were. You have to remember the original intent of your life. What did you care about? What was important to you? Who did you want to help? What did you want to change? None of that goes away because you're married. None of that goes away because you're a mother. None of that goes away because you're a caretaker. No, sis, you have to go back to original intent. You have to go back to them old journals. That stuff is not dumb. That stuff is not old. That stuff is not you just in your young girl phase. Those are the breaths of your heart. And you got to revisit those things so that you can find yourself and who you were before duty. What is your beauty before you got caught up in duty for people? Right? So not only there's 4 things, and then well, it's 45 minutes already. Identity and purpose. And this is the next thing that you ladies need. Curiosity to grow. You know what keeps a marriage? Curiosity. You know what keeps a woman while she's single? Curiosity. What? About herself. When did you stop being curious about you? Who lowered your esteem where you were no longer curious about you? What relationship did you get in? What did your parents say to you? Right? What did your father say to you? Or what didn't he say to you? Right? What did your first boyfriend say to you? What did a sibling? Who was it? What was it? What word is it that made you stop being curious about you? Right? You were curious about who you were. Who lowered your esteem? Who broke you, baby girl? Who broke you to make you think there's no longer anything about you to be curious about? No, there's a depth in your womb. There's a depth in your belly. You got to revisit you. A lot of you sisters, you master everything else. You know them. Oh, I can see right through you, and I know you. No. The only thing you don't have a grip on is yourself. Who were you before Adam? Let me get in the chat. Let me see. Yeah. See, who were you? Who were you before you lost that child? Who were you? Who were you before the abortion? Come on. I ain't going nowhere today. I'm in it. Who were you before you had that abortion? Did it break you so much you no longer felt worthy? Because that's the biggest battle in a woman's life, worthiness. Some of you had, see, some of you say, there ain't no good men. Some of you had a good man. You didn't feel worthy. You sabotaged it because you didn't feel worthy of it. You know why? Because you never released that place that broke you before. Right? You can't say, no, it's people. It's people. Plenty of love. You have tied yourself to your worst mistake and you won't let you free. You have to forgive you so you can have the life you desire. Y'all hear me? Let me see. Hey, Justine. All right. I'm trying, sis. I'm trying to give my sister something good today. Hey, go on. Hey, I want everybody on to go to YouTube and subscribe to the Dear Sister podcast. I'm sorry. Go to YouTube and subscribe to the Dear Sister podcast. That's where this is streaming live on YouTube right now, right? So if y'all on Facebook, make sure you go to the YouTube and subscribe to the Dear Brother podcast. I'm not going to cut this off on Facebook, but I just want to let y'all know where I'm at. I'm Dear Sister Podcast on TikTok. Let me see. I should be at the bottom of the screen here. I got something let me see. There it is. All right. So that's Instagram, TikTok, right? But the TikTok, go on TikTok. It's the Dear Sister Podcast on TikTok. All right. Y'all can connect with me right there. All right. Know that you're worth it, sis. That's the whole point of this whole thing. All right. Let me finish up here. So curiosity. Are you still curious about what do you have left, sis? I know you've given a lot away. I know you lost a lot. What do you have left? Are you still curious about yourself? Are you still curious? If you're on YouTube, hit the like button. If you are accepting and receiving what I'm saying right now, think other sisters need this from a dear brother, hit the like button on YouTube. Again, Facebook folks, go over to YouTube on the Dear Sister Podcast. Like, share, and subscribe right there. That way we can keep on lifting women up, right? So this is the thing. Eve questions to God reflect her desire, right? Those questions I mentioned earlier. God, what is this? Is this mine? Again, I want to say it again. Eve didn't know Adam existed, y'all. Eve didn't know Adam existed. Come on, sisters. Come on. She didn't know he existed. So that means she had her own relationship with God. She had felt his touch. God had molded her. He had conversed with her. He filled her with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. She was full before she met Adam. That's how she knew Adam was the one. That's why some of y'all choose the wrong guys, because you have not been curious enough about yourself. Listen, sis, there's some people, if you were curious about you, there's some people you wouldn't have gave 5 minutes to. There's some men you lost 15 years with, and if you were well aware of yourself, you wouldn't have lost 2 seconds with him. So curiosity and growth. So the first identity and purpose, Eve was developed that before Adam. Curiosity, she developed that before Adam. Guidance and boundaries, she developed that before Adam, right? Because why? She was made special. Right? She was made a collaborator. And lastly, she understood interpersonal relationships. She understood relationship before she met Adam. She understood relationship by herself. Why? Because she was in relationship with herself. She was able to check herself. Come on, ladies. Are you able to check you? That's why it's hard for a lot of you to have healthy relationships, because one of the biggest battles against women is an enemy. It's not a man's battle against women. One of the biggest battles against women is that she will not admit fault. The appearance of perfection is killing you, sister. Trying to appear to every man that you got it together. You will fall apart to your girlfriends, but you won't tell your husband the truth. You'll tell your girlfriend, I am falling apart in my life, but you'll go and you will never tell your husband that truth. You know what that does? It doesn't allow relationships, because you don't have enough relationship with you to tell him. Your relationship in your marriage, your relationship will suffer as long as you're trying to keep an image. If you're broken inside, tell your man you're broken. He can help you. And if you're scared to tell your man you're broken, you're with the wrong man. Let me see. Leslie Gibson. Yes, ma'am. Get curious about yourself. You got too much in you, right? What was them dreams, them little girl dreams, right? Come from Facebook. They come. Thank you, sister. I appreciate that very much. All you folks on Facebook, go over to YouTube and subscribe to that page. Hit that like button so we can help some more sisters. All right. Yeah. Get curious about yourself, sisters. Your last mistake doesn't define you. There's more in you. It's just hidden. It's not gone, baby. It's hidden. It's not gone. Your greatness is not gone, it's hidden. It's hidden under the pain of the last relationship. It's hidden under the pain of your last decision. It's hidden under the fact that you don't trust you like you used to. Right? You can't gain your trust back trying to build with somebody else. The only way you can gain your trust back in you is to build with you. And I'm going to say what I said when I started out this show today. My mother always said that a woman should never go from her father's house to her husband's house because there's no gap in between where she can gain who she is, what she loves, what she doesn't. And I believe there was a gap between the time that God presented Eve to Adam. There was a gap where she would know who she was. There was a gap where she would know that this is not only his garden, but my garden. Eve before Adam. Ooh, let's get into it. Do you hold your great? Yes, Justine. Do you hold yourself accountable? Listen, ladies, I used to say it all the time. I said it to my lady a few weeks ago. The only woman I ever heard apologize was Anita Baker in that song. Come on, don't leave me, ladies. It's your brother. I'm just joking. Don't hate me. Right? Because again, I know what it is. It's the appearance. I'll tell y'all a story. My father, one time, I was like 10. I was young. But my father one time said, hey, Ella, thanks for hanging out, sis. Thanks for hanging out. Let me see. My father said to my mother, let me answer these questions first. So I might have missed you addressing this, but the scripture presents that Eve was only created for Adam. Yes, true. The point that I'm addressing, Leslie, is that the space between God presenting Eve to Adam, from the time Adam went to sleep, I talked about his ego going to sleep, and God taking the rib, taking away from Adam, forming her. I'm addressing the relationship between God and Eve before she met Adam. Yes. So was she made for Adam? Yes. Right. But before she was with Adam, I'm trying to see what the relationship with her and God was before she met Adam. What did it feel like to have God's hands on her? Because the worst thing you can do, ladies, is to have the feeling of a man's hands on you, but never knowing what God's hands feel like. All right. Let me see. All right. So let me finish up here, ladies, or if you have some more, let me go. I need to go on YouTube because I might be missing some questions that are on YouTube. I'm sorry, ladies. Let me see. I don't want to close. Let me see. Yes, what I meant. Never heard that highlighted. See, this is the thing, y'all. On my stream, there's some comments I can't see on YouTube, so I have to go on YouTube to see it. I'm sorry about this. So I might have missed. Okay, I see you now, Leslie. Okay. Oh, your words might have popped up over here. Let me see, Leslie. Okay. Yes, that's what I mean. I never heard that highlighted. Listen, sis, this the thing, Leslie. I never heard it before. Today, I woke up this morning. I do a Dear Brother podcast. Some of y'all tell your husbands, boyfriends, tell your homies. I do a podcast for men at 6 a.m. every morning, Dear Brother podcast. And I said, you know what, I'm going to shoot a live for the ladies today on YouTube. And I was wondering, okay, what would I talk to the ladies about today? And I sat back behind this computer and something said, talk to them about Eve's relationship with me before Adam. Right? I'll give y'all another one to think about. Sarah. Again, I said this earlier for some of y'all, but some of y'all didn't hear it. Sarah, before, if Abraham was the father of faith, how would he birth those nations? It said his generations would be as the sand of the sea and as the stars of the sky. The question is, whose womb would that pass through? See, again, the Bible was set in a time where women weren't counted as important. So, of course, every story is going to lean heavy into what the man was. But if Abraham is the father of faith, that means he needed something to birth this. He needed a person to birth this. And Sarah was that. We have to pay attention to what it means to be a woman that can birth nations. Oh, my God. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to get over here. I got another commercial break. Hey, Amazon, right now, ladies, go get the book. Go get it. It's on Amazon.com right now. Go get it. Go get the book. Go get it. It's for you. Let me see. I'm trying to find my little thing here. Amazon.com right now, sisters. Go get the book. Soul of Sarah. Let me read the back of it for you. The Soul of Sarah. In the Soul of Sarah, Christian unveils the profound essence of womanhood through a captivating exploration of creation, purpose, and identity. With eloquence and insight, this book unveils the divine significance of a woman as the bearer of creativity. Ladies, that's what you see what I'm saying? You're the bearer of creativity. This is why I wrote this book. Because when I buried my mother, I said something left the earth. What left the earth? Right? It was the value of a woman. Y'all got to know this thing, right? Through the lens of this timeless truth, the Soul of Sarah invites readers to a transformative journey to embrace her inherent power. Listen, ladies, inherent power. That means there's some things you had just because you were born with it. You don't have to go find it. You don't have to go look through nothing to find it. No, you have inherent power. The only thing you have to do is discover it or uncover it. Inherent power just because you're a woman. All right? Prepare to be inspired, enlightened, empowered. Let me see. Because I want to show y'all something. Now, one thing I talked about in this book was the difference between a woman with an agreeable mind, right? One of Sarah's biggest problems, ladies, that she didn't feel like she was worth this child, right? She didn't feel like she was worth it. And a lot of you ladies battle with that. You don't feel like you're worth it. Or you look at yourself and you say, me? Yes, you. Me? I've gone through divorce. Me? Yes, you. Yes, you. You're worth it. Y'all see right there at the bottom of my screen right there? You are worth it, sis. You're worth it. I don't care what happened to you. It happened to you. You survived it. You are worth it. You are worth revisiting who you were before your duties came. You are worth revisiting your worth before you became a mother, before you became a wife. You are worth that. Go get it. Soul of Sarah, Amazon.com right now. And for some of you ladies, for your man, I've been traveling for the last few weekends. Go get it. This the one for men. Home where hurt men heal. A lot of women been buying this for their man. Go get it. It's on Amazon.com right now. Yes. Right? All right. Go get it. Let me see. Okay. All right. Let me see. I have that book. You got it, Leslie. Thank you. I'm glad you got it. I'm glad you got it, sister. Let me see. Replying to Siri, I'm a book lover. Go get it, sister. Go get that book right now in the Soul of Sarah. It is helping sisters. I was just doing a conference and just selling. Ladies need love. Ladies need guidance. Ladies need help. Let me see. I need it. Okay. All right. Well, ladies, we have spent an hour together. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate your time. If you're on Facebook, go over to the Dear Sister Podcast, the Dear Sister Podcast on TikTok, and the Dear Sister Podcast on YouTube. Go over there, like and share, subscribe. Again, my goal isn't to be a superstar on the internet. My goal is to give people something because, listen, the stuff y'all getting out here on this internet is disgusting. The advice I'm seeing out here for ladies and men is disgusting. It's tearing families and relationships apart. The soft girl era, I be hearing all this nonsense, the soft girl era, and the passport bros and women or men are fighting each other. I want to let y'all know something. The game you see on the internet, this evil thing, the balloon pop thing, tearing up people's self-esteem, all this stuff is a sickness. And the same serpent that was in the garden messing with Adam and Eve is the same serpent working through this internet to make Adam and Eve hate each other. I'm telling you, look at it through a spiritual lens. All these reality shows of these women in their 40s and 50s made up My God, fighting and fist fighting and throwing liquor on each other. You don't think it's the same serpent that was in the Garden of Eden doing that right now? Trying to make women feel like a life of dishonor is the life to have? Why? Because what you see on TV and these reality shows, you see a bunch of women who aren't in touch with themselves. And then our daughters, 17, 18, 19, are watching these shows thinking that is what womanhood is. We got to redirect women not into that wilderness of reality TV. We got to send our sisters back to Eden, right? And even before Adam, what was it like to be like in the hand of God? We got to do it, sisters. Let me see. Thank you for the encouragement and empowerment. Truly, yes, that's what I'm here for. Thank you for receiving me, Chantel. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let me see. Yes, the internet is creating so much division. It's a sickness, y'all. Think about it. It's a sickness. It's tearing people's lives apart, man. Right? It is. It's tearing people's lives apart. It's making people, breaking relationships up. It's causing people to disvalue one another. It's terrible. It's terrible. And yes, I infiltrated the internet so I can come give truth to all these lies that's being told. Let me see. Okay. So sisters, this is the whole point of today. The whole point of today. The whole point of today is that I want you to value your individuality. I want you to value your identity. I want you to value partnership. Individuality, identity, and partnership. That's what you need. That's what you want to be a strong woman. That's a strong woman. Yes, that's a strong woman. And listen, the world needs strong women. So don't let nobody say that the strong woman is not with the. You can't get through this world. A man can't get through this world without strong women. Let me put this up again because let me see if some of you need advice before I go. This is the advice hour, right? Before I go, y'all. Put up, dear sister, the advice. If you need some advice from bro, I'm gonna give you some real life advice about men, about what you're going through. Put it up. Put it in the chat and we'll address it. Hey, Cass. I love you too, sister. I love you too. Yep. If y'all need some advice, put it in the chat before we go, and I will hook y'all up. Yes, absolutely, sister. The truth and love. I got to tell y'all the truth. I got to mention the flaws. I got to say what's going on, right? But I got to, yes, always in love, sis. Always in love. Aisha Parks. Hey, my sister. God bless you back, sis. God bless you. Thank y'all so much for spending time with me today. If you do have questions, ladies, if you do have questions, you can email me at christian@christianwinters.com. Email me at christian@christianwinters.com, right? And that way I can address your questions when I get back on the live. Hopefully, I will do another live tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow is Relationship Friday. I do Relationship Friday for men and women. So tomorrow's Relationship Friday. I'll talk about relationships. I'll talk about the chaos that's going on out here and what's going on in relationships. So tomorrow I'll be on, let's say 10 a.m. I'll come on at 10 a.m. tomorrow and we'll just discuss relationships. We'll discuss love. We'll discuss the chaos of love. We'll discuss out of control men. We'll discuss out of control women. We'll discuss toxic men. We'll discuss toxic ladies. We will just discuss. But thank you so much, sisters. And I'm gonna tell you, like I tell the brothers every morning, I love you. You matter to me. All right, sisters. And always remember this: you're worth it. I love y'all, and I'm out. Great show, sisters.